no, the camera's all messed up.
Fucking A.
Oh no.
What's wrong? I think it's pretty psychedelic looking, actually.
What's that look like?
Hey, there we go.
We back on the air?
Back on the air.
Okay. It's live TV, folks. See what happens? You see what happens, Larry? It's all flitchy.
Larry
now.
Coryell.
Is it flitchy?
Yeah, it is.
God almighty. I'm about to edit this out.
It's the fucking cat's fault.
What's that look like, Jay?
It's good now. It's not flinky.
It's not flitchy?
Are we recording this?
Oh, we're recording it.
Is this live?
Welcome to Grown Man Record Night, your one-stop shop for Friday night entertainment. We appreciate you joining us. All our good friends on the live stream that visits us every week, as well as our good friends on the YouTube channel, which we're up there at 300 and some subscribers and climbing. That's
Every week.
Every week. If you notice, this is not Steve Fever. Steve Fever has decided to go down to Savannah.
For what?
I think it's in Georgia, which is also in Russia, which is not where he went. It's
No.
Georgia,
He
like
went to
where
a nice
the
place. So Savannah is very nice this time of year. You wanted to escape the cold weather.
it smells like paper mills. You guys speak up, Jay. Don't
Paper
be
mills
shy.
in Suffolk, Virginia.
There you go.
You ever been by the paper mills in Suffolk, Virginia?
They're terrible smelling. I remember the first time I went by a paper mill, I probably told this story on the air before. Me and my dad took this long fishing trip down to Okeechobee, Florida, and we got there, driven for a long time, van windows rolled up, and I was so like, oh yeah, we're here. And I opened the door and went, and my dad's like, oh, it's a paper mill. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's like shit turned inside out. Who did this?
Yeah.
And I couldn't understand how this chair just let me down.
Were y'all playing Hell is for Children?
Hell is for hell! 85. 85. I'm going for 90. That was my dad. He liked to drive fast. Well, this show's just starting off with a goddamn bang, Jay. I'll tell you what.
Start over.
Yeah. I would pour some pop off, but I think we're out here. So anyhow, like I said, Steve Fever's not joining us this week. He's down in Savannah.
Lucky Steve.
And on his way down, we've been fans of this. Some people told us about this record place in Columbia.
South Carolina?
Record store, most people would call it.
Columbia, South
I call it a
Carolina.
record place.
Or Columbia.
Papa Jazz.
Columbia, South Carolina, we're talking about.
Yes, not the Columbia. Many lines.
Tony Montana.
Columbia. Do you want to war with me? Make a move. No, Papa Jazz, one of the best record stores on the East Coast, I would say. I've heard from several people. And Steve went through there today. He texted me this picture, and then he said ... $72 later. So I imagine they had some really cool stuff.
Well,
So-
if they've got really, really cool stuff, $72 is worth.
yeah, and the
going
guy's
down every now
got
and
decent deals, which means he probably bought a lot of cheap, good stuff.
Well, it's like going to any record shop that's nationally known. You're going to spend money regardless.
like
Yeah.
Kmart
I went to Groundie's.
that's your savings place, Kmart.
Have they closed the one down here yet?
I don't want to talk about it. That was my first word when I was a little baby, and we drove by there in the car. All right, I'm a little kid, and I point up to the sign and go, Kmart. My parents are like,
I've heard the stories.
what?
What was across the street? Roses?
No, it's down the road.
Zares?
No, that's way up the road. Let's not get shit twisted this early in the show. There's no sense in it, really, when you get down to it. So anyhow, Steve's down there, and we got Jay sitting in with us this evening. We're going to talk about some record albums and
You want
personal politics, which may get a little thin at times. I do want to make a major announcement. I don't have a graphic for major announcement.
Breaking news.
I found one that said Ballbuster, but I decided against using it.
What you don't say in a ball buster? It's a good thing.
It's a good. Well, okay,
It's
all right.
cool.
Well, so here's the thing, and this is big time business. Every year we do a holiday party, right here on the program, and we decorate the set. And all
Well,
that
I really don't know.
Well,
I'm
okay,
just
yeah.
going on. Sure.
Next week will be our holiday party.
Yeah.
However, triad of dots, I have to work for the first time in many years. Wednesday through Friday, I'm working in the business what we call night side. Night side is like 2:30 to 11:30
Us blue collar people call it second shift.
p.m. So I'm unable to do, but I can't complain because I'm
That's
going
gas station attendants call that second shift.
old Servco.
The gas pumpers of America.
So
Second shift.
I won't be able to do the show on Friday night.
Yeah.
I can't complain too much because I will be off from then until the end of the year. So, but for 3 nights in a row, I'll be doing night side stuff. So, point of the story is, folks, Grown Man Record Night next week will be Saturday night. Saturday night. Write it down. I'm going to give you time. Get a pen. Don't get that one. It doesn't write. Pick up the other one.
So you're telling me next Sunday night?
Saturday night, Jay. What are we doing here? Saturday night, we're doing the Grown Man Record Night 2014 Christmas special.
Okay.
So mark your abacus
I'm excited.
and
I'm
get
excited.
it in. We'll be here
It'll be
doing
good.
things,
Good stuff.
and we'll be doing shit even if you decide I don't want to tune in on
Is it going to be
Saturday
holiday
night.
records next week?
We'll mix some in. We'll mix in some great.
Right in the middle of Hanukkah.
We got some Hanukkah records.
Hanukkah
We got some
and
Christmas
on
records.
Christmas Eve this year. They're kind of right there together. People celebrate both really make out well.
Notebooks, erasers. It's a big time for that. So anyhow, let's
For anyone?
4. Hey, I wanted to mention, check this out, Jay. This week, we got a great new graphic from our good buddy, Spencer.
Yes.
Check this out.
That's freaking awesome.
You telling me? This is old Metal Theologian's son here, old Spencer.
Is that
He-
etched into wood?
He hooked us
I have a
up
hard
with a
time
little
seeing that.
GMRN Love Has Come to Town.
I like the hashtag too for promotional purposes.
That's me and a container of Mitchum.
That's you and Steve, actually.
No, it's me and Mitchum. That's a can of Mitchum on top of that.
And it's a smell good.
Yeah. Because it's never a bad time to start your kids out learning how to really properly.
You know, I just switched to Mitchum recently because
Did you?
I saw a commercial.
Of course. Why wouldn't you use the Mitchum before? Was it for a reason other than it smells like paint thinner?
No.
No. Just because. Sometimes you can find the 2-pack for $5.88.
My family been a Mitchum family since like '64.
Armenian. You guys are Armenian? Of descent?
No.
No? That just sounds like an Armenian thing to do. I don't know.
What, Mitchum?
I don't know.
Like the Armenians use Mitchum?
Maybe.
Yeah, I saw an Armenian guy in the store the other day. He smelt the hell.
Really?
Yes.
This is a true story.
Yeah, true. Swear to God, true story. It was yesterday.
Mm.
And I thought about because I thought Mitchum.
You should have bought him some. You're in the store already. All right. There's no reason to.
No, he really. That wasn't a true story. They're not supposed to smell it.
Wasn't a true story?
No, it was.
Oh. You making things up, or are you not making things up?
I've never made it.
Hey, thanks, Spencer, for hooking us up with that graphic. We're going to rock that into our rotation.
Right on.
Like normal.
Yes,
Cool cat, man. We appreciate you.
absolutely.
As always, playing underneath this some music from the Free Music Archive. I've got my surf music playlist on shuffle. Bands like Apache Tomcat, D.A. Dad mixed in there. Some great stuff you can find at freemusicarchive.org. A bunch of free shit. I mean, there's no reason not to just go try some shit out. Free zip files, a whole album.
I was telling you, I went there the first time this week. PK Jazz Collective.
Of course,
And
a
it's
Grown Man
so-
Record Night favorite.
Like it's so cool because it's got like the 5 basic genres you choose from. And it's got subgenres within. You can like nitpick anything. You want.
Subgenres are crazy. That's the key on the Free Music Archive.
And you can dial it into like, and that, like you're saying, like you discover new bands that way. You know?
Well, very much so. Especially if you search for something that you like, you'll probably find something similar that you may like even better.
Well, I put like, I'll just mess around. I put Psych in. I got like 2,000 tracks.
Yeah.
Come up. And
Did you listen to all of them
Not today.
with your music
Tomorrow I
ears?
will. Tomorrow I will.
Let's talk about what we played, Jay.
Let's do that, Michael.
We've played a nice eclectic mix of different record albums this evening.
I thought it was a good mix.
It's a good mix.
It went back and forth.
Yeah, some stuff I'm really proud to pick up. Man, wait till you folks hear Dig of the Week. We got some great stuff
Yeah.
for Dig of the Week coming up.
Yeah.
But I don't want to jump the
No.
G. I don't want to jump the G there.
We don't promote violence on this show.
No. So we'll talk about what we started out with. First things first. Very first album this evening. Little Dixie Dregs, Dregs of the Earth.
Yep.
And love the Dixie Dregs, the Steve Morse shit. This is one I had not picked up, obviously, or I wouldn't have bought it. This is 1980 on Arista. And
this is pretty cool. Steve Morse, I don't know much about this group. I know Steve Morse is very, very, very well known. I mean, he got a Gibson model named after him, I believe.
Speaking of 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce,
cheese.
Steve is hung out in the same area as Steve Morse. I knew some stuff about Steve Morse.
Is he a Georgia guy?
He's a Georgia guy.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah, just like
Steve talked about this last week.
Steve has talked
you don't
about Steve
remember
Morse
that.
several times. What are you saying?
I'm saying you drink way too much.
It's a substance abuse problem, brother. Where's your empathy?
Why don't you repent to God? Okay.
I tried. He answered my calls.
He
no
did
more.
1 week and it didn't.
I had his pager number at one point. That seems to be disconnected. I don't know.
All right.
Little VCLT from last week. Good buddy Chris at Dixieland Farms sent us some Stan Keaton's Greatest Hits. I really dug this album. A whole lot.
I like it a lot.
Even though you said it looks like Al Gore on the front.
Yeah. It's kind of big bandy, but
No, it's good, man. It had enough exotica, kind of tiki loungy feel to it.
That's the genre that you've been on that's really the tiki lounge thing I really like.
Yeah, and this is not, it's not too far off the mark with that. Went completely 180 from there and went CSS on Sub Pop. This is Donkey, 2008 Sub Pop, and CSS is a Brazilian pop, rock, pop electro pop kind of band.
I think the story behind this was the cool part.
The story behind this album for me personally, a local store that I go to religiously, this thing's set up here forever. And I'm like, oh, it's a record on Sub Pop. That's probably cool, but it was later, and I'm like, maybe be kind of poppy. I don't know. And I don't know. Some of the stuff the kids listen to I can't get into so much.
Cat's getting ready to get electrocuted, by the way.
That's okay. It's all right. God will make more cats.
Oh, yeah.
There's always more
You
cats.
can always get cats.
Electrocute away.
Somebody's always giving away cats.
Somebody's always giving away cats. And the pound has got
Oh, they're putting them down like...
putting them down like Charlie Brown. All right. What the hell was I saying?
Talking about the record story, the story you got this record.
Yeah, and so finally one day, I actually listened to the record, the CSS record.
They put it on for you?
On YouTube. No. I'd listened to it away from the store because I'd put it back several times. And then I realized, I'm like, this is pretty good, man. And I go in there, and finally one day, he didn't have a whole lot that I wanted. And I had a little extra room in my till.
Sure.
In my creel. So I picked it up for $4, and he was like, you know, man, this shit has sat in here for like a year. And it's a great album, and nobody has bought it. It was $4 for a really recent album. I mean, considering.
That's one of the...
I picked it up, and it's great.
Well, we were talking about how often do you see a freaking Sub Pop record, like a used Sub
Yeah.
Pop? Like never.
Especially for $4.
Yeah.
Even though it is Brazilian, very cool stuff.
You know, if I was you in that situation myself, I probably would have freaking...
Tell me what you would have done, Jay.
I would have bought it before I even...
New York.
Before I even listened to it. I wouldn't even came on to listen to it. So I would have $4. I would have spent $4. I was like, we're talking about, which we'll talk about this in a couple more records.
That's what we call a deep tease in the business, folks.
Let's save that. Let's save it.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking.
But you know, there's so many times I had a stack of records this big, and I putting stuff back, whittling it down, and that was always one that got put back because I'd rather have the, I don't know, John Mayall record or the Muddy Waters record or whatever more than that one. But then eventually I was like, oh yeah, let me just go ahead and pick this up.
I've been doing that with Billy Cobham Eclipse lately. I think I finally need to buy it.
Of course you do. Any Billy Cobham. Don't be silly.
It's a good shape.
That's a Grown Man Record Night favorite. Hey, this was part of Dig of the Week several weeks ago, and I'm just now getting around playing on the program. Spliff, Schwartz off Weiss.
Straight up European, right?
European, all over my carpet, and you're going to pay me for it. Nice gatefold for a straight up German release. Even the price tag is in Deutschmark.
$17.90 Deutsch.
Yeah, pretty good. It's kind of 80s electro pop, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, they were speaking German throughout, which is really cool.
100% German.
You put anything to German lyrics, and it sounds good.
It was pretty decent for $1. I found it in the dollar bin. I don't know what was down there because it's in pretty good shape.
No, the cover's got a little water damage, but other than that, it's
You got water damage, Jay.
Yeah.
Tell me about this record, Jay.
Oh, this is John Coltrane. This is the first Coltrane I ever picked up. This is called Coltrane Tom. Picked it up at one of the local record shops this week. Not the best shape vinyl-wise.
Now, the story is this was originally released as a different album, correct?
Yes, this was originally released in 59 under the Cecil Taylor Quintet.
Really? On the same label or different label?
Different label.
Okay.
And it was re-released. This was a 68 pressing.
It's weird. A lot of jazz records are like that. Everybody knows that.
And it's a different label. It's a different cover. It's a different title. Everything.
It doesn't sound bad. It's $6.
No,
I would have bought it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, there was a record show this past weekend. I think it came from that show somewhere.
I would have bought it in a fluttered heartbeat.
But I mean, John Coltrane in decent shape for $6. I won't go past. And it just sounds so much like John Coltrane we're talking about when he starts playing. He's an alto player.
John Coltrane is what I like to refer to as an alto American.
And you can tell it's him right away when he starts playing. It's
because he's an alto American. It just comes right through.
Right up the street, actually. I
Yeah.
went by his house the other day.
I think I have a heart murmur. What is it when the second chamber, it seems to gets into the first?
I don't know. We're looking at webmd.com. Arrhythmia.
I've got an arrhythmia.
I bet you do.
Yeah. Boy, I tell you what, Jay, me and you both like this record a whole bunch, don't we?
That's really.
We talked about it while it was playing. Me and Jay had a little conversation.
I think that's your best pick. I think that's your best.
You think of the year?
I think that's your new vinyl purchase of the year.
Oh, Fu Manchu, California Crossing demos. These are the demos that came from the California Crossing
straight up
session.
Good.
And I was worried that they were going to be kind of like, because Fu Manchu's known to do a lot of 4-track recording prior to going to the studio, and I thought it was going to be the 4-track recordings. And I don't think it's that. I think it's just kind of laid live tracks from the studio.
It is.
And it's super tight.
Such fucking good music.
I don't remember the California Crossing. How different does this sound from that?
I've never heard it. I don't know. I know.
Because this is tight. What else? What else could you improve on?
Well, have you heard the action or I think it's the action is go. It's the one with Tony.
Is it the one with a van on the cover or the one with a skateboard bowl?
Skateboarder bowl. It's Tony
Alva.
Yeah.
Great record.
Yeah, it sounds similar to that but that's the record we had this debate too. That's what that's the reason I'm not a fan of some of the desert rock bands, because they do kind of veer off into the kind of.
That's what you say. You say a lot of the desert rock gets real.
I think they do. But
ambient-y and
at times. I mean, like a track, like 1 out of 5 tracks.
They do a lot of mushrooms, Jay.
Oh yeah, of
that
course.
happens.
But no, it's really, really good shit. I mean, this is like the purest. Just we're talking about that analog sound. I mean, that's
rock up your buddy Hoyle.
And the singer's just spot on too. I mean,
yeah, it's a perfect rock record in my opinion. That's
the steal of the year. Like what you paid for that record and how many good tracks it's got on it. Like,
yeah,
I lose words on that.
Jay said. Played some more VCLT from Chris that he sent us last week. Stanley Jordan, who I believe is playing around here.
You said that. I don't recall what exactly
A&T, I believe, maybe coming up.
Homecoming?
This is on Blue Note, not at Homecoming. That'd be
sacrilegious.
Bullet shields and.
He's not that kind of.
No, I've been to A&T Homecomings when I worked at Arby's in the Coliseum when I was in college, and we had to rush. Is that a word? I'm inventing it.
Yeah.
When you hurry somebody, not so much in the motion of people.
Do they make
in a hurry? A rush. We rushed everybody to the back of the stand because there were gunshots. That was at an A&T Homecoming. I think Jay-Z was there. Pretty sure.
I don't know what to say.
I remember things. I don't remember things. Yeah. Stanley Jordan, Magic Touch, digital recording. It says up there.
Blue Note Digital.
But incredible. What a guitar player this guy is.
I saw this past week and passed on it, and I really regret that. I'm probably going back tomorrow to pick it up.
I tell you what, he could make a rash on my shoulder with his mustache any day of the week because he's just that good of a damn guitar player.
Well, and he covers some really, really like the first song,
Eleanor Rigby.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. I've actually seen a YouTube video of them playing that live. That was incredible.
And Freddie Freeloader.
Totally incredible. And finish this up, just learned recently, speaking of Chris from Dixieland Farm, let us know that in Greensboro, North Carolina, where we're at, Neutral Milk Odell is going to be playing in April. And I was like, hey, that reminds me, we're talking about going and seeing it in tickets and stuff. And Cameraman, who still has his records over here, it's got a Neutral Milk Hotel album. This is on Avery Island on Merge Records, which is out of Chapel Hill, which is there's a Merge Records sticker on my, right there. That's Merge Records right there. I got it from somewhere. But great release. And I was kind of iffy spotty on these guys at first, and I tell you what, after a couple of years, I was just like, dude,
I liked it.
it's really good.
It was very like...
I slept on it for way too long.
I think it was almost kind of Sonic Youth-y, like it's kind of out there.
It's got some elements. Oh, it's got some elements, Jay. I'm not going to...
You know, that's the kind of like 90s music though that like stood the test of time from Seattle.
What is? What were we talking about?
Sonic Youth.
Sonic Youth, yeah. But not everybody is a Sonic Youth fan because it's, you should listen to Sonic Youth later.
Thurston
I got
Moore,
some Sonic Youth. You know, he's in like a
black metal
band.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Oh, then I was going to say about the Stanley Jordan record though.
You tell me about it, Jay.
It's a Blue Note record.
Yeah, it is.
Like, why would you ever, if you're in a record store and see a Blue Note record for $1, would you ever pass it up? Hell no.
No.
Hell no.
Even though I've picked some stuff up from the 80s and I'm like, oh, Blue Note, and I scored for $1, and I get it back home, I'm like, oh, this sounds like music they play in Revco.
Yeah. Well, that's like the 80s.
If you live in 1989.
The Revco, gosh, that's...
I'm telling you, my favorite tweet I've ever done in my entire life. You ready for this?
Yeah.
You ready? Gone to Eckerd's, be back 10 years ago. Right?
I don't get it, but yeah, it's pretty good, I guess.
Well, let's wind this down.
By the way, how was your steakums this past week? I never did ask you about that.
Fantastic. Let me tell you this. This is an impromptu.
Yeah.
I found a couple of boxes of steakums in my freezer.
From the Reagan administration.
Well, they expired maybe in 2012. Maybe. And so I fried some or maybe all of them into a big pile, and I put them on a paper towel so it'd catch all the grease.
Okay. That takes the fun out of it.
And then I put them all on sandwiches and ate them, and it was, I realized, like, I may pass away here directly.
Was the girlfriend here with you when you did this?
I was all by my lonesome.
That's not smart.
No. So I ate a whole bunch of steakums from, I don't know when it was.
The important question is, how were they?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I wish I had some whiz. I'd like to put a little whiz
Meat
on there.
doesn't expire. I don't care what anybody says.
Cameraman, who's a chemist, he's always told me there's 3 things to check out for. Does it stink? Is it gray?
Gray meat.
Does it taste bad? If it's meat and it passes all of those, you're probably fine.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, you're fine. Normally, something will tip you off previous to
put
that.
in the freezer though, it'll be fine.
They were in the freezer.
This should be fun. Then. That's
yeah.
only 2 years.
I think the biggest beef with the biggest. We'll be right back with Grown Man Record Night. The biggest beef with those is you'll get them with ice cream or deer meat or artichoke hearts. Is you'll get it'll be you'll taste the freezer burn. Would be the biggest problem.
Yeah, ice cream.
Problem, because that's a fucking word. Problem. All right.
Take a shot of vodka.
Well, here's why we're going to take a shot of vodka this week. You know, folks, here on Grown Man Record Night, we have the Atari alcove just off to our side here. We play Atari here from time to time, and we lost a hero this week.
It's a real one.
Ralph Baer, who was,
about that.
in my opinion, the godfather of video games, period. A lot of people say it's either Ralph Baer or Nolan Bushnell. My opinion, Nolan Bushnell stole all of his shit from Ralph Baer. Ralph Baer was a shitty businessman, but he was a smart engineer. And Nolan Bushnell was a pretty good engineer and a really savvy businessman that knew how to steal shit.
It sounds like the story of McDonald's.
Yeah, so we lost Ralph Baer this week, and I never thought he got the credit he really deserved for.
What did he invent? Which system?
Well, and what ended up being the Odyssey, that was Nolan Bushnell's stuff, but he was the first one. He did Space Wars. It was oscilloscope games.
Oh, he was more of a game guy than a system guy.
Way previous.
I got you.
But a lot of those designs were, it got kind of fishy.
Did he invent computer games?
They went to court.
Commodore 64
No.
type shit. My dad got me a Commodore back when I was a kid.
I had a Commodore 128.
My dad like missed a boat on Commodore.
We were rich.
And got he got me some Commodore that like would play games. It's like
It's for learning. Get smart, you dumb mother.
It was a data computer that hit me. And like I couldn't figure.
Were you more of a fan of the 0 or the 1?
Zero.
Hey, Ralph Baer, man. We appreciate you.
You know what I'm talking about though.
Of course I don't. Oh, funny.
We had
down my
a
neck.
Nintendo. Speaking of Nintendo, yeah, this week, you had that, you won a couple contests on it at work.
I did. We had a Christmas party at work. I won a Wii Mini. I also won a Bose sound dock
Really
for my telephone that I keep in my jean pocket.
So you put that in your pocket too?
I put it in my back pocket.
You do that.
That's a symbol for a tough man. That's what I am doing.
Tough. I went pumping iron.
Did you really?
First time ever.
Did you watch it with your shirt off?
No, Schwarzenegger.
What was the
came off as a major tool in that movie.
I heard about that.
Major tool.
Well, I tell you what, there's no better time than now to go into a dig of the week. Folks, we've got some stuff to talk about. Jay, what you got to talk about for dig of the week? You got a few things to talk about?
I got a few.
How many you got? Oh, you got a few.
4, 5, 6, 7. I sport this week. This is probably my last week of buying records for a while.
Yeah?
Christmas coming up. I know I've asked for a couple from my loved ones.
You going to prison? Going to prison.
But,
Oh, there's Stanley
With
Jordan
who?
in Greensboro, February 12th. Is that an
Stanley
A&T?
Jordan Trio?
At North.
I don't know if I can. I can't go
University.
there. I can't go there.
Yes, you can.
I'm not allowed to
Can't
go
never-
1,000 feet of that.
Can't never could, Jay. Words to live by. My mom always told me that.
Your mom sounds like a lot. That sounds like.
I used to date her. That'll be awkward. Jay, what you got?
Your mom.
Your mom, motherfucker, your mom.
No, I like your mom.
Oh, yeah, I like your mom too. We start off on the wrong
I
foot.
got this Dave Brubeck this week. This is 2 generations of Brubeck.
And we talked about this
Yeah,
last
we
week,
played
right?
this last
I
week.
told you to buy this.
1973. This has been one of the local record stores that has had this for 3 months, and it's just kind of sat there and whined at me every time I go in.
I'm
there
telling
and
you,
say,
man.
"Well, pick me up. I'm only like $2."
Oh,
and
dude.
Turns out I had a bunch of credit to the store this week, so this is a no-brainer.
I got a credit story coming up as well.
Yeah, so Generations of Brubeck, 1973.
So you gonna listen to it?
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to it.
The story, if you didn't see last week, was that last week or week before?
About what?
That record. Last
Yeah,
week?
probably last week.
Cameraman has that record, and I'm a big fan. So Jay's wanting to maybe do a little horse trading on it, but I told him, I'm like, don't be hasty. Listen to the record first. 'Cause
Yeah.
You may really like it and not want to get
And
rid
the only
of it.
Brubeck I've
And I
got,
feel bad about it.
and the only Brubeck I've got is Time Out, which Steve generously gave me.
That's a good second one, brother. Oh, I don't
It's got some of the same tracks on it.
I just got my period. Let's start the whole show over.
And
Do another one. Do
how
another
many do you have? I'll do 3. You do some. I'll do
one. You do, yeah.
All right, here. UFO Obsession from '78.
Okay.
When the first time I came here, I bought Michael Schenker's group. This is very similar, hard rock, guitar rock. UFO is kind of an under the radar metal group from the '70s,
Sure.
'80s, but
Not for everybody, but
Not for everybody,
Not a
but-
bad band.
very good guitar. You all right?
Yeah, I just had a burp and a hiccup at the same time. A burp up. Burp.
You have to. Listen to the news. Sports 83.
Oh, the
Do you
only.
have this?
Yeah, I do. The only record we played this during. We did a Super Bowl special a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Where we did. It was like it was Denver versus Seattle. No, that was last year. It was the one before that. San Francisco and Baltimore. Yeah. So we did all these records, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be cute and play Huey Lewis Sports underneath this. Blocked by YouTube in every country. Huey Lewis must have the universe on lockdown.
Oh, he is Huey Lewis.
I mean, you couldn't have got popped anymore if you'd have played Led Zeppelin underneath this. I'm telling you. I mean, that episode, nobody can watch that. I don't think nobody could see it from the time I uploaded it. It was a great episode. I'm assuming because I was on it.
Yeah, this is Sports 83. It'll only take $1 for it, but it's in really good shape for that.
It's hit after hit, baby.
It's got 4 top 10s on it. Yeah.
That's pretty nuts.
It's reached number 1 in the U.S.
Say what you want about pop music, but if you can put that many hits on one single record, that's saying something.
Well, he was big time back in the early. Or in the place I was at had 6 copies of this.
Are you kidding me?
Like 3 of them were like $2 or $3. I guess they're a little better.
I mean, I guess that's not crazy to think about.
No. I think every Huey Lewis I have.
Yeah.
I'll share one more. How about that?
Okay.
This is actually, I had a good week of picking, but this is probably my favorite record I got.
Really?
This is not a favorite, but like I couldn't pass this up for $1. This is what I told my friend that runs the store that I got from. This is Winger. Winger self-titled from 1988.
Yeah.
This record was actually on the chart for like 64 straight.
Are you serious?
I swear to God. Had 4 big hits on it.
When I think
it's a platinum selling record.
When I think Winger, even though I know Winger before this, I think Stewart from Beavis and Butthead.
And that's what the conversation we had in the record store. But like, you see this from your, I guess, childhood, like early teen years. Like, why wouldn't you pay $1 for it?
Oh yeah.
You know, it's fucking mean.
One of the great. Actually, I was talking to a gentleman at Underdog Records, Jonathan, and owns it today.
Yeah.
Which is it's a very typical story, especially if you grew up kind of in our era. Maybe if you grew up liking some kind of more hair metal type bands.
Like Winger.
Yeah, especially when you're a little bit younger like us, when you're like 12, 13.
Yeah. They influence you.
Yeah, but then as you got into like high school, you're like, oh man, forget all that. I'm into like Pantera and Slayer, or you're into like NWA and Dr. Dre, and then, you know, like, forget all that. But as you get older, like our age now, you're like, man, I'd really like to have that Def Leppard record again. And now maybe that's a bad example.
No,
I'd really like to have that Guns N' Roses record again. So you go back and try to find it, and you're going to pay for it. You're paying for getting rid of it because you abandoned it back then.
Yeah, I never had vinyl as a kid.
I didn't have vinyl, but
I had a lot of cassettes.
I loved Poison. In middle school, dude,
oh, yeah, me
and Cameron both loved Poison.
Yep, me and my cousin listened to them a lot. We had the cassettes.
Those guys were so pretty.
They went so like with the Rock and Roll Express, if you were watching wrestling, they were like line and line.
I loved dudes that looked like chicks. It didn't take much for me.
You still do from what I hear.
I want to get a hamburger and with you and like lock up with you and be all tough about it and then like
wrestle,
talk about like life and where I'd maybe want to have a window box outside of my apartment when I'm in my mid-30s.
That's cool.
Yeah. You want me to do one?
Yeah, I got
I'll
two.
do
I can
one.
do a few.
So I picked this up today. I actually went to the record store, Underdog in Winston-Salem. Went after work, which I've never done before, and picked up a Les McCann I'd never seen before. Les McCann Comment. Now this is on Atlantic. It's 1970. Actually, it lists 69. I think it came out in 70. I don't know much about this one.
I see a lot of Les McCann.
I pretty much pick up most of the ones that I can.
You what? You McCann.
McCann. I like to get all the ones I McCann. Because that's great stuff. And
I know nothing about
Les I tell you, probably I've went on record 3 or 4 times on the program of saying my favorite record ever, Les McCann Live at Montreux, which has got Compared to What on it.
Casino.
Yeah, when
they're really good.
when it pops. God damn it! Try to make it real compared to what?
It's an old Atlantic one too.
Yeah, it is. Early 70s Atlantic. Which is, I always love to say that when somebody says, hey man, how you doing? And if I want to be an asshole, I'll say compared to what? Hey, New York. New York. You need to do one more, Jay?
Yeah, do one more.
I'll do one
You
more.
got two more.
I got two more after this.
Yeah.
So 3 more total. So we going on 1, 2,
Count
3, and we're gonna go, or 1, 2, 3, and then go. Okay. So I picked this one up. It's a new for my collection for this artist, Carl Perkins Blue Suede Shoes on Sun.
That was like a freaking blend.
And this is what my answer for years and years and years when people say, hey, are you a Beatles or an Elvis guy? And I'm like, oh, I'm more of a Beatles guy. It's like, you don't like Elvis? It's like, I like Carl Perkins. That's always my answer. Because, you know, he stole Blue Suede shoes. Yeah. But
that's early. That's Sun too.
it's on Sun, man. I can't get a year on this. Literally, I picked this up after.
Gotta do a little research.
We'll do a little research.
Won't be too difficult.
It might be, Jerry.
I don't know.
Don't long change us. I don't know what that means. I just made that up.
This is like early country though, right?
It is that line where country and rock and roll met for the very first time.
Like Hank Williams.
It's the middle school dance of country and rock and roll when it comes to male and female.
It's like Roy Acuff.
If country is male,
My grandmother was a big Roy Acuff fan.
I'm a big Roy Acuff fan.
She was huge. She was a big Roy Clark fan. I think my grandmother was.
We got a lot of Roy Clark. I like Roy Clark, even though his head looks like a circle. He's got a big circle
Perfect
head.
circle. That's when they came with that name.
One more
I'll do
medicated
a couple more.
perfect moment.
I picked this up this week. This is Kiss, the original Kiss from 1974. No, you're fucking.
I'm all manering out on you, dude.
But this is the old. Well, actually, third pressing.
Third pressing, but the same year. Yeah.
74, I believe. And you know, I got this record, and I hated Kiss's early production. I thought it was just so shitty.
Yeah.
Kind of like Ozzy's first production, like the first couple records were terrible. Kiss's first couple records were terrible. I listened to it. I actually kind of liked it. I only spent $4 on it. The vinyl's in good shape. The case isn't there. The cover's not the best.
I'll have to say, man, Kiss grows on me more every year.
But
I still don't
and
really like them. But
And the thing that the average Joe on the street, wouldn't know, Mike. Sorry, the thing the average Mike on the street wouldn't know is that this material was most of this material was written when they were still Wicked Lester, before they were Kiss.
you're all Wicked Lester.
Also, I really like it. And the thing that if you like Kiss like myself, like the really bad Kiss that you want to go see, they come around. They still play all these same songs. Like 8 out of the 10 songs they still play. So they're all good songs.
Yeah, I tell you, from some of the Kiss records I have, and everybody was always like, "Oh, you need to hear the stuff that's not on the radio." And I'd put on a record like on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
Cameraman and even the girlfriend at one point was like, "Who is this?"
And
I was like, "See, that's
bluesy
Kiss.
rock.
That's Kiss." It's like I don't like it a whole lot, but I like it. And those are two people that were like, "This, I hate Kiss."
Yeah, no,
You put it on and it's not
like
bad.
any non-fan should probably get double platinum. I mean, it's a pretty cheap outfit.
Okay.
And this is the last one. I actually went to the record store today to pick up a Christmas present and walked in, and the guy that owns it, the singer I was talking about earlier, he just got this in.
Derek Brady?
Yes, and the Brady X.
Uh-huh.
This is the Are You Experience by the Jimi Hendrix Experience. 1967. You got this record. You got a. But
I got my
story about.
I got my dad's copy.
Yeah,
of
you
it.
got the OG from your parents.
I love how Sharon Sims' dad is the one that's talking all over the thing. But
you can hear a lot. But you can hear a lot on this record, though. Like very psyche stuff you don't hear on the radio. It's really psyche. It's really good.
You know, what's really funny is, for real though, on a serious tip, we played baseball with this African American gentleman when we were in high school, And the whole time when we were like sitting there on the bench, and I'm like looking at this dude, probably like I wanted to do him, which was not the case. But I just kept thinking, this guy looks like Jimi Hendrix. I didn't like him at all. He was not a friend of mine.
Well, he was a friend, but he wasn't. I didn't like him.
I
thought he was beating you up for that.
Yeah. He looked and sounded like Jimi Hendrix.
You think so? I've never thought about that.
We'd go to a restaurant. Yeah.
What are y'all going to restaurants for?
Let me get a hamburger and a French fry. And I'm like,
his dad or him?
Him.
Oh, man.
And his dad was even like a.
His dad looks like the guy from what's the
No, I'm gonna kibosh this
Dad.
before.
What's the guy that got his show off that American Dad?
Cleveland show?
Yes.
That's all for family.
His dad looks like. Okay, sorry.
My name is Cleveland.
That's what his dad looks like. Mr. Sim, right? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Didn't even say it on camera, but he does look like Cleveland.
Oh, Sears is doing pretty well. One up by my house got a McDonald's right in the middle of it.
But this record though is like the vinyl's in probably VG shape, and I only paid $4 for it.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's got a little water damage, but it's the first U.S. pressing.
That's the first U.S. press. $4.
It's a three-color label on it.
Wow. Reprise?
Yeah, the reprise label. I did a little research on it.
Wow, man.
But it's in VG. You know, it's got little hissing throughout.
It's pretty crazy. Hey, I went in the record store.
Industry.
Yeah, I did that too.
You play with some bands.
That's another story for another time. But I went in the store earlier this week, right? I slipped away at a time when I don't normally buy records, like 11:30 in the morning. And I'm like, things were calmed down at work, and I said,
which in Greensboro enough to go.
I'm gonna slip out real quick, and I go up there and like I tiptoe while I'm driving, like a cartoon character. And get up there, and I'm in the record store, and I go through the first half of the A's, and my new phone rings. It's like, oh, I need you to go to High Point. And I literally like, what is this, a cat? What is this, a cat? So I didn't even get to. I didn't even get to digging. I was literally
in and out.
I was literally halfway through the age, and I was like, you know what? When I came up here, I came to buy this record in addition to whatever else I found. The very first White Stripes, which I kind of asked Jonathan to be like, hey, you get any more of that Third Man stuff in? He's like, oh, it's been kind of tough. He got some stuff in, so I made a point to pick up the very first White Stripes album.
Cool.
I have. Okay. All right. Jay's pulling us through.
Now this is really cool though for what you paid for it.
Give it some time on the side, Jay. Real quick with it.
Well, it's an EP, so
you're an EP. Yeah, but it's something that I remember the White Stripes first came out. I was like, this is bullshit because I'm older and this is dumb and this is young people's music, stupid. And then like a little later, I'm like, wait a minute. I started hearing some stuff and some really good music.
Well, Jack White's one of those guys. Like we talked about, who was it? You talked about Kiss a few minutes ago.
And you can almost see that girl's hoo-ha on there now. Let's be honest.
But this is one of those bands. Jack White, like I think he was kind of annoying looking back in his early days.
Yeah, more so for sure.
But then, like you kind of like he got more serious as a musician and realized how good he actually is.
I mean, it was good back then. I mean, especially a two-person band. I know the Black Keys have done that.
Anybody's never seen that documentary with him, Jimmy Page, and the guy?
Oh, it might get loud.
You need to watch that.
Fantastic. The first scene where he does the homemade guitar and he's got the cigarette hanging out, and he's like, anybody tells you can't afford a guitar, blah blah blah. Whatever.
He's a throwback.
I'm multi-talented too, Jay. Mm-hmm. You know what I can do?
No, you're not. You're really not.
I can do an internet.
I know what you can do.
I can do an internet program and damage my liver at the same time. Your move, Sherlock.
What was this last one?
Okay. Folks, this is a record. It's pretty crazy, and I'm very proud to. Horseman Creek Road. All right. Okay. This is Earth's Hibernaculum. 2007.
What are you doing about this?
Now out of print. This copy is brand new and never opened, rare.
This is a special. This come out of a special stack, right?
This came from the record store owner's personal stack. I've got 2 other Earth records. I bought the brand new one, and I bought a repress of one of the ones I'm a real big fan of. This is one from around that same time. Southern Lord Records, 2007. This is the original press, though. Never been opened. I could not let this sit up here. Hold that guy up.
You just got this today?
And this is, I mean, for fans that know Earth, Dylan Carlson, legend has it. This is the guy that gave the gun to Kurt Cobain.
Oh.
And Kurt Cobain asked for, I need a gun for protection, blah, blah, blah. Dylan Carlson brought him a shotgun, and that's the gun he killed himself. But in the early 90s and mid-90s, Earth's sound was sort of like, they were the precursor to what would be Sun.
I was going to say, it says Sun 74.
Drone metal, like just ambient and droning, but gnarly. They're the first ones to really, really, really do that.
That's the Sun amp, is that where that comes from?
That's where they got their name from. But this is from Sun's, you know, from the mid-2000s on, where they kind of went into this kind of country ambient rock. Really interesting tonal characteristics of what they chose, and then they do like a, and it's still thick and gnarly in its own way, but over top of that, it's got the tonal characteristics of like a Telecaster guitar.
Yeah.
For some reason, it makes this.
You played it a few weeks ago, I remember.
It's got this feeling of going down Route 66 in the desert in the middle of the night, like on acid, and just driving. That's what it feels like.
To experience once in a while.
Of course, that's what it feels like to me to listen to modern day Earth, and I couldn't be more prouder to pick up that album and that album to conclude our Dig of the Week.
Secret question is,
That's what I said. I was like, oh man, now I got to decide if I'm going to open it or not. Which I knew the answer, and the dude that owned it and owned the record store was like, oh, dude, of course you got to open it, and you're going to play it like as soon as you can. So
I don't know. I've got a Herb Alpert record.
okay,
No, I really do actually. I'm excited about showing it. Herb Alpert record though. I got a good one for 75 cents.
yeah, you could probably. The difference in that one is you could find one that wasn't sealed and just listen to it. I'm sure you can find one. So just do that and keep the one that's sealed.
I bought the new.
But that I may never see this original press ever again.
I mean, not like that. Herb Alpert, you can find it.
But I'm going to listen to it because that's what music is for effing listening.
No, I do in my spare time. I've done it in my Christmas cross records.
Yeah?
I'll tell you about that.
Special Olympics?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do, folks. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to come back with a So to Speak and Chip Chat. So everybody stay tuned with us here on Grown Man Record Night, your favorite one-stop shop for all your holiday ball needs. So we'll be right back.
I'll kick you in the needs.
They said it would never hold water, the book that's taking America by storm, the new Consumer Information Catalog.
Just look, it lists federal booklets on home and car repair, children, food, physical fitness, energy, and money.
Not sold at any bookstore, not sold at any price. The new catalog is free. Write Consumer Information Center, Pueblo, Colorado, 81009. Send for it today.
Don't miss the boat.
You know what happens when a house catches on fire? It fills with suffocating smoke. But luckily, every room in your house has a crawlway about knee-high where the air is good. So by crawling, not running, Out of a smoke-filled room, you breathe the good air down here and not the bad smoke up there. So, remember, if there's a fire, use that crawlway. It's the best way out of a hot situation.
Are these your drugs?
Look, Dad, it's
Where
not
did you get it?
Dad,
Answer me. Who taught you how to do this stuff?
You, all right? I learned it by watching you.
Parents who use drugs have children who use drugs.
Okay, we're back here on Grown Man Record Night. We appreciate you staying with us late in the Friday evening and live on the YouTube. We're not live on YouTube.
Not yet.
Live in your Bloody Hoyle in here. You know, we had a comment from a viewer that we should go back to the old way where we did multiple sodas for soda space. You know, we did that at first and we started running out of sodas. It costs money. We started running out of stuff, so we, you know, Soda Speak originally was not supposed to be every week, to be honest with you, but we've managed to keep it going, and
It's a popular segment.
it's a popular segment, so we managed to kind of stretch it out and do what we can do to.
I pick on the streets, like when I'm just out in my street clothes.
Yeah, leather chaps, western shirts.
You ever watch wrestling games with guys?
Oh, yes.
Talk about their street clothes.
Yeah.
What the hell is street clothes? Like, what is street clothes look like?
No,
What is this wardrobe that we're talking about?
no street shoes in the gym though. Don't wear your dirty bucks in the gym. You want to get attention, wear your dirty bucks in the gym. That's bad business.
Street shoes. What are street shoes? That's race. That's the most fucking.
A fight.
It's the most,
A fight.
it's the most fucking racist term I've ever heard. Street shoes.
Nice mouth, yeah. Nice mouth.
It really is those street
Yeah.
shoes.
They mean British Knights. Oh God, this show's a bust. The whole thing's a bust.
All right, stop.
Bossman had brought us a bunch of sodas from Kroger. We don't have any. I'm holding
There's a
one out.
Kroger in Durham I was telling you earlier about.
You're lying.
Yeah,
Kroger in Durham.
yeah.
That's big
It's like
time.
30 minutes or 45 minutes up the road. But yeah.
Hour. Come on. No. Chapel Hill's 45.
Durham's way different. Chapel Hill. All right. What about the soda?
Okay. So this is a big K from Kroger. We've been doing a few of these lately. We're saving up a good one for Halloween or Christmas, whatever you call it. So it's a big K root beer. Store brand, Kroger. We'll see what the deal is.
I lived off the Big K like last year when I was living in Kentucky. Kroger's King. Big K's like only like $1.59 for a 12-pack.
Really?
Yeah, it's a great deal. Like hell of a deal for store brand.
It's not bad. It's a little corn syrupy from. It's not my favorite root beer. It's not even close.
Not bad.
It's not bad. Pretty damn syrupy though.
Yeah, it is.
I have to say.
I'm not a root beer aficionado.
I love root beer. Root beer is one of those. Root beer and cola are one of those that a couple of those that really do better with real cane sugar.
Okay.
I think it really makes a big difference in colas and root beers. You get into like, oh, it's Hawaiian punch mixed with a lemon lime and a spritz of. It doesn't matter what you put in it, but when it's a more basic ingredient list.
Cane sugar more of a territorial thing. You see it more down south.
Territorial pistons.
You see it more down south.
Down south?
Good name for a band.
Oh, that wasn't
Good name for a southern rock cover band down south.
Oh, I was going to play some Leonard Skinner tonight. I'm glad you reminded me.
You all understand?
I've got gold and platinum. It's a double LP. Pretty much all I know. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. That's not bad.
Skinner's
It's-
overplayed.
This is not bad.
No, it's not. Well, for what you pay,
I wouldn't
like,
write home for it. I'm pretty picky with root beer.
It's really cheap though.
It's really cheap.
Like
Like
that can. Well, no, that can like individually is like 20 cents.
I would take that, but just knowing that it's giving you diabetes and cancer at the same time, I would probably just hold out for a glass of water and go for a good one.
Walmart and get the Walmart brand cans and like outside the store.
Oh yeah, the
You
Sam's
can't
Cola.
do that
I don't
anymore.
think you can do that. No.
That's random.
No, anyhow, it's not a terrible so to speak.
It's terrible design.
It's leaving a film. You know Steve Fever, Jay. It's leaving a film.
Steve, you know? I really do.
It's leaving a film in my mouth, like an Ishtar. Maybe
A really bad film?
maybe a Turk 182 right in my mouth. It's a film from the 80s, Jay. It's a film from the 80s. Let's do a chip chat.
Oh, sure. Let's do a chip chat.
So I've got a couple of things I'd like to talk about on the chip chat this evening. A couple of things.
Oh, yeah. This stuff's only been sitting out for 3 hours.
You've
now.
been sitting out for 3 hours and we let you get on the damn show. Shit.
Oh, I don't expire though like that.
Okay. So,
Yeah, I'm not eating that.
yes you are.
That's warm.
That's what she said.
That doesn't look good. By the way, did you get any feedback on the powdered chips?
Last week, I had this grand idea of putting the macaroni and cheese powder on the regular chips.
I feel like burnt hair.
I ate them.
Oh, you ate them all right.
Yeah, I could have maybe mixed it up and did a little better with it.
Or added water.
Or added water. Or
Added water.
added water. So tonight, we're talking about a little high top, which is out of Arlington Heights, Illinois. Add the S to that if you're feeling spunky. Illinois.
Wonder what grocery store
But hey, check out this ingredient list. Okay? Potatoes, cottonseed oil,
chips.
salt.
That's like a very organic sounding.
Jeez, man. For a low-end regular potato chip ingredient list, potatoes, cottonseed oil, and salt. Pretty damn
I've
impressive.
never had this
So,
high top chip. Any kind of high top chip.
We've done some high tops in the past, so let's try these out. And I always call my Ripple chips are a dip chip.
They got an odor coming from the bag. Got the green chips in there.
Good chip. Good, solid, seems to be steady, sturdy, salty, nice potato flavor. It tastes like potato sticks.
Not very salty at all.
No, it's got that potato stick flavor. You know, like those potato sticks. More potato than garbage in it.
I wish I would have saw these earlier this week. I made some dip.
Well, now here's what we're going to talk about tonight. We got a little bit of this left from the Dean's Company now, because anything that says Dean's on it, I just want to eat. I hate that name, folks.
Why?
Dean's.
Makes you think of Dean Cain?
I don't know. Makes me think of Lewis Dean.
Oh, that's
I don't
not
want to
good.
eat anything that comes out of Lewis Dean.
He lived on Wolf Trail.
Yeah, he did.
That was the name. That was the name of his street, Wolf Trail. He rode 134.
But yeah,
Yeah.
this is a Buffalo Ranch dip from Dean's. And that's why I wanted to use these, which turned out to be a really good plain ruffled chip to try out this Dean's dip. Let's hold this Dean's dip up, Jay. I'm gonna get me a little bit of it here. I let it sit out so it's not so damn cold
so it's
and
spoiled.
so it's spoiled and.
But I made a dip this week and bought a brand of chip, which I don't want to mention on air.
Yeah.
They're Lay's, the wide ridges. Terrible dipping chip.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I don't think I'm gonna try it.
No, it's not spoiled. I mean, come on. I just did it so it wouldn't be all hard and coagulated.
Buffalo flavor?
It tastes like,
It's not over buffalo though.
No.
Very, very good.
it tastes like hot wings. Wait till it kind of,
Good.
the cool thing about this dip is that it, the heat hits you on kind of the back end.
What you said.
That's good.
Not bad.
Probably one of my favorite one of my favorite dips,
Stick your finger in there.
to be honest. That's really pretty good. All right, I got one other chip I want to talk about.
This one's a little bit
No.
out there.
Now, several months ago, a year ago, 4 years ago, I have no concept of this kind of shit. Sean0612 asked me, there was like an Ask Mikey Banana segment, and he said, what chip would you recommend with beer? Which is a pretty broad question, but
Something salty.
here's my numero uno answer. Lots of things you can pair with different kinds of beers. My numero uno pairing is, what I'm drinking here, folks, is a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. One of the best pale ales on the market. Everybody loves this beer if you're a pale ale drinker. You love them. So my thing is, pale ales really go with salt and vinegar, right? Lots of salt and vinegar options out there. You know, it's no big secret. Here's my favorite and my number one recommendation. Salt and vinegar pork rinds. This is from the Carolina Country Snacks Company. Where are they out of? For crying out loud.
I'm sure it's somewhere within
Damn
2 mile
near
radius.
Henderson, North Carolina. Down east, baby. Woo! So, oh, wait a minute. Let's take a second and read here on the back.
Is it going to get religious?
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
On a damn chip? Really?
And right below that is a barcode. Now you do your own math.
And it's not kosher.
It's not kosher. That's not kosher in a few different ways.
Right.
And but seriously, you got a Bible verse and a barcode. I can't write this shit, people.
That's got Joel Osteen sitting all over it. By the way, has he said anything about the challenge?
I challenged him to a
Have you heard back
fight
from his people?
for charity. He's afraid. So, that's get you a good one. Get a good one. Jay, I swear it. If you like salt and vinegar.
I don't like salt and vinegar. I don't like pork rinds. So
Of course
kind
you
of
do.
like a double negative.
Salt and vinegar pork rind and pale ale.
Smell freaking terrible.
They smell like fart.
God almighty.
The
It
reason
smells like envelope adhesive.
Carl.
Yeah.
So, my thing about why I prefer the pork rinds even to salt and vinegar potato chips is pork rinds tend to overdo the powder. They overdo the flavor.
Right.
They're trying to be overbearing with it. So that over-the-top flavor with a pale ale is perfect business.
Yeah,
Here we
apparently
go.
it's pretty bad from what I heard. You're not a pork rind fan? My grandma liked plain pork rinds.
I'm a big pork rind fan.
I know.
These are not this good. Not that good.
Well,
I've had a lot better.
Well, maybe it's because they put a bottle brush in the back. God can only do so much with pork rinds.
Yeah. You ever read the Book of Job? I'd recommend it. This is what happens. See what happens, Larry?
They smell nasty.
I don't know, folks. I'm a big fan of salt and vinegar pork rinds. I was
Carolina.
really stoked to find these.
I need to see if Carolina Country Snacks is still in business. They have a website, so they're probably still.
These were made in '96.
Yeah. So I played a mean joke on you.
No.
You know what's really good though? You talk about salt and vinegar. The one thing I do like is those Harris Teeter brand kettle cooked salt and pepper chips.
Yeah.
They're close to salt and vinegar.
Harris Teeter's cheese curls are also top of the line. Better than Cheetos.
Okay.
The puffy ones.
Like cheese puffs.
Yeah. better than the name brand. Hot Top is Lowe's food.
You don't know about Lowe's food.
I know a little something. I don't want to get into it. We've gone too long. So anyhow, it's a little disappointing. I thought that was going to be a better deal. Anyhow, we'll do better for Christmas, I promise. And if not, you can take it out of my stocking. I mean, that's not generic. It's local, baby. That's why I was hoping for the best, because it's local.
Local-aged pork.
Yeah, Cameraman used to go take up water samples in a chemistry job he did.
Right.
And he ended up going, he had to go to the place where they do they have the kill floors for the hogs. Yeah. He said that was bad, but he said that wasn't near as bad as the across the street, it's the rendering plant. It's like the stuff that you don't use the pork for food, but for other shit.
When I was on the farm,
he said it smelled so bad that like he would open a bag of pork rinds and about gag. And we grew up eating pork rinds together. We're big pork rinds fans. He's just now to where he would be able to eat them.
I'm like that with whiskey.
How do you go from that to whiskey?
I used to be like that with whiskey. I couldn't smell whiskey for a long time. One night when I get really drunk,
you ain't got to smell it, you got to drink it. Oh, man.
I can tell you that one night when I get really drunk, I'll tell you the story of how that happened.
JV cheerleader story?
Katie Mary's story.
And we're clear. All right, well. Well, on that note, folks,
I don't know what America they're talking about.
Be sure, hey, remember.
South America's.
Remember, serious business, Jay.
Yeah.
The Christmas special next Saturday night.
Saturday night.
No show next Friday. The show's going to be Saturday.
That's a cool thing, though. Saturday.
Don't send me messages being like, "Where's the show at? I thought you were going to hear the group." Yeah. Saturday night.
That's really cool.
Send your wife out of the house.
Probably around your underwear, like.
Send her over here. Send your wife over here.
Tom Cruise.
No, don't send your wife over here. I got enough money as it is. Anyhow. So we'll see you next week for the Christmas special, and Steve Fever will be back and all that jazz. So we've got one thing left to say tonight, Jay, on our program.
What's that?
That's what we conclude our show with every week.
What's that?
Bump, set, salvation. We'll see you next week. Grown Men Record Night.
Come back, Steve.